Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to a special championship edition of PLGC After Dark, live from the putting green. You're here joined, as always, by the voice of reason, Matt Ford, myself, Ben Davies, our tournament director, Jonathan Petro, and a very special guest, our four-time PLGC club champion, Aaron Petro. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I've been a big fan of the program for a long time now, and I'm excited to make my first debut.
We're excited to have you. We're just going to jump right into things here. Just your overall thoughts on what it means to be a four-time club champion.
It's special to join that list. There's a lot of great people on that list on the plaque right now. This guy's good. It's very special to be a part of that illustrious club. I'm happy to have my name on there 4 times, and it's an honor to have my name on a plaque at illustrious course like Puslinch Lake.
Now, while we're on the topic of being on plaques and honors, the Petros now have won 10 straight club championships. It's a decade of dominance, as someone once said. What does that mean? I'm going to pose this to both of you, actually, as you guys are the 10-time club champions. What does it mean to you guys as a family to hold that record?
Well, just first off, decade of dominance, that's probably a top 5 sports call in my books. That was incredible.
They did well.
The worldwide viewers really, really enjoyed that one, I know. It's a special place, not the course itself, but Puslinch has a special home in our hearts. There's no doubt about that. Just the people here, they make it special.
Matt, special seems to be the word of the night for some reason. Not a big adjective crew over here. But you followed along for pretty much all 10 years with these Petros. What do they mean to Puslinch as a whole?
They mean everything. These guys have been here for so long. They've been in contention for so long. They were part of the original push to get junior golfers into the club championship. They've paved the way for our young junior members now, and they've played some unbelievable golf while doing it.
Absolutely. Aaron, take us through a little bit of that third round. You had a 4-shot lead heading into the final round over Kevin Warner, who fired impressive 68s back-to-back. But things kind of switched for you on the 7th hole. You only had 3-shot lead. Everyone was in tight for birdie, thought there was going to be no swing. Ends up Nolan and Kevin both missing easy birdie putts, you making yours, and then just going on a tear. How did the rest of the round fare after that hole?
After 7, there's just a lot of confidence that was building up. Like you said, I make my birdie pretty easily, and they let a couple slip by that they probably should have had, and from there, I just thought I'd be able to run away with it. I've been playing well all week, really consistent, so I thought if I could make the turn in at least 2 under, then I'd be able to pick up a couple on the back too, and I just wanted to be the low man every single day, and I figure if I win my group every single day, I'll be able to have a good chance at winning that tournament, and that's exactly what I went out and did.
Yeah, you sure did that. You went 66 day 1, 66 day 2, and then followed it up with a final round 64. Those were the 3 lowest scores of the week. No one could really compete with that. You played with 2 great competitors this year in the final group. 3 really, 2 in contention. Nolan Dan and Kevin Warner. Warner's a 2-time champion of this tournament, way back in the day. Nolan Dan, first-time player. What do you make of their games?
Kevin is a stoic and noble individual. It's the first time I really got to play with him. He's an awesome guy.
Stoic was a good word.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's super laid back, but he's got an incredible game. It's just very simple and easy for him. A lot of sneaky power in his game. He claims to not hit the ball very far, but I think that's a lie. He pokes it out there pretty good. And every aspect of his game is pretty solid. Drives the ball pretty well. Pretty solid iron and wedge player, and he can sink some putts. So I was lucky that a couple of those putts for him slid away a little bit on day 3 there to keep me going. But he's an awesome individual, and I played with Danner quite a few times this year. His game's really improved from before barely breaking the 70 barrier to doing it quite often now. So it's been awesome to see him take some great strides in his game and grow as a player.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about getting the ball out there. I don't know if there's someone at Puslinch that hits it further than Nolan Dan. Matt, we were lucky enough to follow them on Monday, and wow, Nolan he crushes that ball. The smash factor's off the charts.
Yeah, his tee ball on 5, I think, was a little long of the green, which is pretty unusual to see. That's a big poke. And you know what's really cool to see is when you're out there with him, it looks so effortless. It's effortless speed that he creates. He's going to be a contender in this championship for years to come.
Absolutely. And Aaron, for the fourth player in your group on Monday, Jack Robertson, didn't have the best of days, but a solid finish for him nonetheless.
Absolutely. I mean, this is back-to-back years where Jack's had 2 very strong days in the club championships and then has struggled with one day in each one. As a young player, you're going to see that quite a bit. Tournament golf is very demanding mentally and physically, so it is tough to compete to a high level every single day, but I think Jack's really going to break through one year. It could be next year, it could be the year after that, but he's a very strong player. Look for him to bounce back strongly in the future.
And now I want to jump over to Jonathan for a second. Jonathan, you ran a wonderful tournament, 3 days successful. The weather really held off for us, but what I really want to get your thoughts on is the galleries. We really started to see them form on the 10th, 11th, 12th hole, really the start of that back nine when Aaron was pulling away. People were catching wind of what was going on out on the golf course. How does that fare for the tournament going forward, and what was it like to see that out on the golf course?
I think that only improves the value of our tournament itself. I was lucky enough to be out there for the back nine as well, and there were a lot of people there. Not only just following the final group, but there were spectators in the last few groups, not even just that last group itself. But when I was fortunate enough to jump on the broadcast with you on the 15th tee, standing way up there on the loudest hole in golf, to look down at the green, it's almost like an amphitheater, seeing that many carts around the back of the green, kind of circled up, being on the same level that the golf balls were about to land. That was a really cool shot. I'm sure the players felt it when they got up to the tee there, and then obviously it's pretty famed when you round that corner heading home into 18 green, seeing that many people stick around after, but also the crowd that was with that final group that could come around the corner itself. I'm sure those sitting behind the 18th green went, wow, this is pretty special what we have in front of us here.
Yeah, and you got to think it's going to build momentum for the tournament going forward. Typically hovering around that 35, 40 player mark. This year we had 48 men, I believe, and 10 ladies, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think we'll see a boost in numbers over the next coming years, or do you think people are happy just to follow along?
I do anticipate a boost in numbers. Seeing that many people follow around after, I think it's going to get them excited. I think they're going to want to play, want to be a part of it themselves. There's a difference between being a competitor in the tournament and just being a spectator. The spectators had a great event to watch, no doubt about that. But a lot of those spectators too, they were playing in our earlier groups. They were pretty content to get the clubs away quickly and hang out, watch the groups come in. It's a part of it. It's a great weekend all in all. I really do think it's a special weekend for our members in general. I can only see our numbers continue to grow as the years progress.
Now, Aaron, we've got your brother's thoughts on those spectators and the galleries around you coming in. What was it like as a player seeing a good 30 people following you behind and about 25,000 coming in?
It can be intimidating a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but it's also very exciting. So if you're playing well, it's an exciting feeling them cheer you on. You want to perform your best in front of all those people. But at the same time, if you're not playing too well, it can be quite intimidating. All those eyes are on you and you can't find your game. So it's a mix of emotions. But, all in all, I think it's a really positive experience. I think from last year, it felt like there were more eyes on us this year as we came in, especially earlier on. I noticed from even the start of the round, there were a few people that came out, were watching the whole time, and numbers just continued to grow and grow as we hit the back nine. And it's a really cool thing as a player. I've been on the flip side too before when I wasn't playing every single year in the club championships. As a spectator, it's quite fun to be a part of and watch groups come in, but it's very fun to be a player and playing well and watching all those fans.
Now, your tournament, wonderful as we've mentioned, but I want to get your thoughts now on the other champions we had this week. 2 first-time champions in their own right. Our senior club champion, Tom Marshall, didn't even know he was in the field until before his final round. And then our ladies club champion, Heather Puttiford, second-year member, first-time champion. What do you you didn't get the chance to play with Tom this week, but you played with him in the past. What's Tom's game like?
Tom's got a very simple and steady game. Lower ball flight, able to work it a couple ways, just up and down the middle all the time. Puts it on the green, gets his 2 putts, and gets out of there. It's a very simple game. It'd be one that a lot of people would want to replicate. But beyond his game, he's just a great individual to play with too. Really well-deserving guy, great guy to talk to and play with, so couldn't be more happy for him.
And what do you have to say to, if you could give some words of advice to first-time champion Heather Puttiford going forward? What does she need to do, and how can she enjoy her victory right now?
I think you just got to soak it all in right now. There's not a whole lot of time left in the summer, so try and take in as much as you can. Enjoy that parking spot while the weather is really nice, but it's going to be tough next year. She's got a very steady game. She's performed well in the 2 club championships that she has played in so far, so I expect another solid performance out of her. But next year there's going to be a lot of eyes and expectations on her, so she's going to want to get out early and make sure she's working on her game, sharpening it up to meet and exceed those expectations.
And Matt, we were able to follow along all weekend long, really, scoring on the Saturday, following ladies on the Sunday, and then the final group on Monday. What are your takes on the weekend as a whole, whether it be from a golf perspective, a viewing perspective, competitor perspective? What do you make of it?
I'd just like to give a shout out to our players, members, volunteers. Made it such a great weekend. We had great turnout. Started with the Friday night barbecue. I think most people who are members or volunteers here came out. Even throughout, as we got into play in the weekend, we had people that weren't in the tournament coming out to hang out for a little bit. And then just the players being so cool and letting you and I follow them around with a camera all day. This is a great community here at Pleasant Lake Golf Course. We all know that. It's fun to be a part of.
Absolutely. A couple more guys I want to give a shout out to as we wrap up the tournament as a whole is our great cameraman, Drake Neal. He's behind the camera tonight. Thanks, Drake. You did well. First time videographer. Quite impressive. I can't believe he walked those 36 holes in 2 days. We were done after the front 9 on Sunday.
World-class athlete.
Some may say. And then also a shout out to our tournament sponsor, Brian Perry. He's been doing this for longer than I can remember. Brian sponsors the entire tournament. He has forever. He's a great host. And it's really great to see him out there participating as well. He's played all these years as well. So thank you to Brian for everything. Now, if we want to circle back to Puss Lynch going forward for the rest of the season, I'm going to throw it over to Johnny. He's got a couple news bulletins of things coming up, things we can expect to see for the rest of the year. Jonathan, what do you got that's coming up here at Puss Lynch?
So we got a couple other member events, on the docket. I guess next up is going to be we got another 2-person scramble, Sunday, August 18th. It's initially slated to be a 4-person scramble, but since the last 2-person scramble went so well, we said, you know what, we're going to switch it. 2, it's a little bit more competitive. We found people had more fun out there. You really got to rely on your partner instead of just having one guy, carry the entire group. So it's a little bit better for everybody there. And then we are pleased to announce we're bringing back night golf again this year. We did it last year for the first time in a billion years. So we're bringing it back again. It's going to be Saturday, August 24th.
I believe so.
Saturday, August 24th. Members only. You get dinner. All your glow gear is a part of it. It's a 9-hole shotgun event. I know Ben and I played last year. 40, I believe you played as well.
Yes.
Did you play?
I did.
Yeah, we all played.
We all played, I guess. Great time. We had a great night for it. Beautiful open sky, just like tonight. Looking forward to much more of the same. And then we're in the midst of planning our Ryder Cup right now as well. So that's going to be sometime in September. Stay tuned for details on that. Can't wait to get that one posted. Bringing that one back after a while, too. It's been a few years since we've had a Ryder Cup of some form. Stay tuned to see how we do teams. You're going to be interested in that.
Ryder Cup, always a fun event here at Puss Lynch. I have fond memories growing up of being on Team Bernard, Team Tilma, Team Rusk. Great times. Can't wait to see what Johnny's got in store. And there is one other event, if we're talking about public and member events. We've got our 5th annual Fall Invitational coming up. That'll be near the end of October. Date to be announced, sign-ups to be announced. Everyone keep an eye out in your inbox for an email about that in the coming month or two. Johnny, anything we can expect to see this year in the Fall Invitational?
A lot of fun.
Love to hear it.
Leave it at that.
Yeah, it's pretty much sums up that day. Yeah, Aaron, thanks as always for joining us. Congratulations again on your victory. 4-time club champion, 10 years in a row for the Petro brothers. Historic victory, really. Matt, thanks as always for joining us. Jonathan, thanks again. And we'll see you next time on PLGC After Dark.